College football season is upon us. You have waited this long to get in on the action, and guess what? We're here. We are at college football. This Saturday, there will be games. It's an awesome time to be around, so I wanted to take a quick preview of the 2025 season, some predictions, and some rambling and so forth. Just going to throw it up on the screen every Thursday at noon, well, or a little bit, sometime around lunch. We have Final Feelings at Dog Post. Make sure you're checking that out. Just want to throw it up on the screen. It's been very popular through the years. And today is actually our last chance to get this $3 months and the magazine for the price of 1 month. Let me say it better. You can sign up right now at the link below or the QR code on the screen. That's going to get you 3 months of Dog Post and our 2025 preview for $15. For $15, or you can just become an annual subscriber and you'll get it that way as well. Today is the last day. I misspoke when I said Tuesday. I thought it was Tuesday. It is midnight tonight, if I'm not mistaken. It's Friday, so I'm telling you it's today. So I don't know if it's midnight tonight or tomorrow. You know how that goes. So sign up now. Here's your shot. But in Final Feelings, we talk about this every single week. I'm going to scroll down to my spots because, they're more important than everybody else's. Look, we don't know what's going on in the sport right now. As we approach the 2025 season, we approach the 2025 season with a particular uncertainty about the sport. And I'm talking very acutely about on the field this year. There are no elite teams like Ohio State was in 2024, like Georgia was in 2022. Those are not there coming into the season. Sure doesn't look that way. I am also talking globally, although in Final Feelings I write about the acute nature of this. I said we've seen the top of the sport appear to coalesce around Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Penn State, and maybe Clemson and Alabama at the top, and then drop before maybe Clemson, Alabama, LSU, etc. I probably should have stuck Notre Dame in there with the second group. But we don't know, and I go on to write, it would be odd to see someone other than the betting four favorites to win this season, but there are so many issues, namely new quarterbacks in Athens, State College. I say State College. I meant Athens, Austin, and Columbus. It's hard to pencil any of those guys into the title game, which is in Miami. I had to look that up because things have changed so much lately. And now we also don't know, as I'm going to I'm going to check that typo right now. We also don't know what the future is with the college football playoff. I mean, I think that's a major thing in the grand scheme of things. It determines the national championship. We're not ever going to go back to champions being decided at split bowls. We're never going to go back to a scenario where, we have a BCS, 1 versus 2. We are in a playoff era. We've been that way for a decade, and that's what it's going to be moving forward. I think the Big Ten, quite frankly, sees the writing on the wall. They know, well, more than that, Fox sees the writing on the wall. They know that they've been shut out of the college football playoff. They want it expanded so that Fox can get a piece of the pie. Warner Brothers, which is TNT, they got part of the expansion. Disney not willing to give it to anyone else. One way around that is to expand the playoff. Listen, I love college football. I think it's awesome. I love college basketball. There is no reason to expand the tournament, probably in either case, but certainly not in football. You want to make it a few more teams in college basketball, make that first Tuesday, 4 games and 4 games, like 4 games on Tuesday, 4 games on Wednesday. You have a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday situation Sunday. I mean, okay, fine. But college football doesn't need, there are not going to be 23 teams, 24 teams that can win the national championship. 9-4, 9-3, Texas Tech has no business being in a college football playoff. So we've got to get past this. I wouldn't say it's a power grab, but it's a move by the Big Ten that is quite clearly, and I've not talked to anybody about this, but it's quite clearly a move to get Fox into the college football playoff because they're shut out right now. And you have to think that the Big Ten has to wonder if they made the right call going with Fox, frankly. It's not been an unbelievable. They have positioned themselves in not a great situation. It's okay, but compared to what Disney has right now with ESPN taking off, they have the SEC network. They've got now the NFL network. They're going to probably get the Major League Baseball network. They have contracts for all of the SEC, the college football playoff, this new NBA package. They've hit a home run with Monday Night Football. I mean, they're crushing it. And they have all these rights. And everybody else is looking around going, well, what about us? Well, that affects college football because of what you're seeing now with this massive playoff situation. I think it's ridiculous, but that's me. And we got Auburn claiming these national championships. I think there is a reason to claim them if they're legitimate, but so many of those were illegitimate national championships. It's absurd. Georgia should have claimed the 46 and 1920 national championships because they won the national championship. Not because they didn't, because they were the best teams. Those were undefeated teams. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there was no other undefeated team in 1946. So I'm not sure why Georgia does not legitimately claim that. And then I go on to talk about, we are not light years from when Georgia last won the national championship in Los Angeles, but we are years from then. And, we are years from that time, and it's important to continue to press forward. It's so hard in the middle of something. It's hard to look at it and say, hey, we're slipping. It's hard to know that for sure. I mean, there's no doubt that Clemson in 2020 and in 2019 thought, we're going to continue to do this. They have not played in a semifinal game since. And frankly, it doesn't look like they're going to play in it this year, and maybe they will. But there's no doubt that they have slipped dramatically. Do you think that they thought that was happening? LSU knew in 19, this is not going to continue. Alabama, when Nick Saban left, and they went 9-4 the next year. Maybe they'll pick it up this year. We'll see. Everybody thinks it's always going to keep going. Think it's going great in Oklahoma right now? They haven't won the national championship in 25 years. A quarter century. Think how many opportunities they had in that time as well. How many times they played for the national championship? 03, 08, I think it was. Was it? Yeah, 08. Think about, losing to Georgia. Think about 2 seasons later getting absolutely throttled by LSU in Atlanta. So it can go away. Now, are we at that point with Georgia? I don't think so. I'm just bringing it up. A year ago, I started talking about, hey, they're not beating people before the season. So they're not beating people the way they did. Are they slipping? In terms of regular season record, they did. In terms of result, you could say they had a better season in 2024 than they did in 2023. I don't know if I buy that, but you can say that. We can say that, and it's factually accurate. They won the league in 23, they didn't. But look, this team in 25 has the capability to do more. And here's what I said at the end. I said, to me, it's on Mike, Bobo, Kirby, and the players to play to their potential, not to their perfection. If they do that, they'll probably win it all. But we are a long way from handing out trophies, and Georgia's first test is weeks away up at Neyland. So this team has the capability to win the national championship. So does Texas, so does Ohio State, so does Penn State. There are some teams out there. But Georgia just has to play to its potential, and when they play well, they're going to be hard to beat. When they don't play well, that's when you'll really know what these guys are made of. A season ago, when they didn't play well, they won some games. When you think about the Kentucky game, the Florida game, the Georgia Tech game, there were times when they didn't play well and they won. And then there were times when they didn't play well and they just straight up lost. I'm not worried about when Georgia's playing well or Ohio State's playing well or Penn State or something like that. I'm not worried about those moments. I'm worried about what happens when you don't play well. Will you claw back and win like the 23 Auburn game, the 22 Mizzou game, to some degree, the Ohio State game in 2022, the Clemson game on offense in 2021? All of those things matter. Can you play well when you're not playing? Can you win when you're not playing well? That is sports, straight up. Can you adjust? Ohio State, they kind of didn't, but they were so good last year that they got a mulligan and they took advantage of it. I mean, that matters a lot. So we don't know what we don't know about this season. Everybody looking at Texas and Alabama like those are huge games. They are, but it may be that they're not there at the end. It may be that Georgia's not there at the end. So it's all of those things. But I think that, this team has got the capability of winning it all. They're not so far away from the last national championship that, it's a cause for concern. You're not in Oklahoma territory or, whoever, Auburn. There's a lot of people who have really slipped. Tennessee, you're getting close to 30 years for the Vols. So you're not at that point. But there's no question that Georgia's regressed in terms of the final result of the season. When you win 2 national championships, back to back, it's hard not to regress. So can they surge now? I think they can. I'm just not totally convinced that will be the beatings that we've saw in 22, 21, 23. I mean, those days are going to be hard to recapture. Now, the biggest thing I think to me about this season is that, if there's one player that they wish they could have back, is Jalen Walker to me. He took games over at times. And, he's the reason. If you're talking about any singular player, why did they win the Southeastern Conference Championship? I would probably say Jalen Walker because of the win at Texas was directly correlated to him. Okay, straight up. So you don't get to the championship game without winning that game, first of all. Secondly, when they get to that game again against Texas in Atlanta, he wreaks havoc again. They beat Texas with Carson playing the whole game. They beat Texas with Gunner playing half the game. The variable that didn't change was the Georgia defense. That's what I want to know is, up front, are they as good as they've been in the past? Doesn't look like it to me, but can you get there with, just volumes and volumes of guys really, fast? All these catchphrases Kirby uses, that sounds great, but, you got to go do it. And that's the part that I don't know the answer to. I mean, that's the hard part right now. But that's what we write about in Final Feelings. It's, Matt is still mad about the Braves. He's mad about his kids not taking naps. Know what that's like. He says that Georgia still runs the Southeastern Conference no matter how much people are talking about Texas. Ryan's Final Feelings is he's saying week 0 is for the sickos. So welcome to Sickoville. That's where we're at right now. He's claiming, I hesitate to, and this is going to bring everybody down. He's talking about the Falcons and that everybody needs to get on the train. Hey, man, it's not happening, okay? I don't want to hear about the Falcons. They are losers. I'm not cheering for the Cowboys. I'm not cheering for anybody, but it's not. It's like, stop. It's stop. And no, don't stop. I continue to tell y'all, stop doing this to yourselves. Stop it. Stop it. When it's obvious, we can have that conversation. We're not at that point right now at all. And I watched the Panthers. The Panthers are bad. So there's a path there, but they had a path last year, the Falcons, and they screwed it up. This is because it's the Falcons. That's what they do. I'm just going to end with this, okay? I'm trying not to get triggered. Listen, man, I don't want to hear about soft-baked cookies. All cookies are supposed to be soft-baked. Like Shane Beamer, you don't get extra credit for your wife for her appropriately cooking cookies, bro. That's the way you cook cookies. They're not supposed to be crunchy. Why is he getting false, juice out of this? She's cooking them the right way. I don't know what idiot. I've not watched the Netflix thing yet. Who's talking about this? The only way to cook cookies is the way to cook cookies, which is without crispy cookies. A chocolate chip cookie should always be soft. They should be undercooked. They're called cookies, not over cookies. Cook it the proper way. You pull them at 12 minutes. There should be no more than 13. If you're making 24 cookies out of a 12 out of the Nestle bag, bro, you're going too hard. Those are going to be crunchy cookies. They're not going to be good. Stop it. Stop it. Sign up today.